The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome in everybody on a Thursday evening to the Halos in the Infield post-game show. I am your host, Todd Fox, on a night where the Angels at least won the series. They clinched it last night, but there's a lot to talk about in tonight's game because this is definitely a Buttercup game. And if all those who aren't familiar with the Buttercup, song, you build me up just to bring me down, and they had the lead, and we always play the Buttercup when they lose, they blow a game. We play the sad song when they lose from starting pitch to the last pitch of the game, and then we play Stukas when they win as a celebration with the fireworks. But with that being said, we're here on the network for the fans, by the fans, by the fans, for the fans. We appreciate every last one of you that comes in here and leaves a comment, leaves a nice little gift for us there with a super sticker. We really appreciate that. And we'll talk more about that as we get along. And then I have a lot of announcements to go over again tonight later on, as well. We'll talk about the Big Papa being at Rockin' Brew over there in Buena Park on Saturday. We'll give you more of the details on that if you guys want to come out there, and also see us at Saturday at Brewheim, where you can hang out with us before the game. So we'll get into all that. But that being said, the Angels lose tonight, and they lose not in dramatic fashion like they won in the first two games in dramatic fashion, but they lose, 8-5 in a game they should have won. Toronto improves to 17-20, while the Angels fall to 15-21. They are still 7 games out of first place. But the way this game started, you had a good feeling, right? I mean, obviously, through the first 2 innings, Soriano struggled to get through those innings, and you were feeling like, okay, he's got to tighten it up a little bit, get around the strike zone, not allow walks, not give up hits, and it should be fine because the Angels really don't score that early that much. I mean, sometimes they score early and then shut down, which is what they did for tonight's game. But, with Ward going deep in the first inning to make it 2-0, they get a solo shot by Adele in the second inning, and they get a ground out sacrifice error, whatever you want to call it, to score the second run, and it was 4-0. I have to admit, I was feeling pretty good because based on the way the starting pitching's gone, you figure if you can get to about the 5th or 6th inning with Soriano, you throw it over to the bullpen, you're not feeling good about that. And the bullpen's been ass lately. So you're hoping that between now and the 6th inning, the Angels would actually do their job and not have so many zeros on the scoreboard and give you a bigger lead. So with starting out to a 4-0 lead, that didn't last very long, as the Blue Jays would get a couple runs right back in the 3rd inning as Varshal doubled the center, Guerrero and Springer would score. And the Blue Jays tonight just had guys all over the freaking bases, dude. They were abusing the bases tonight, and that was hurting the Angels as they were all over the place getting whatever they wanted to going against Soriano. But Soriano would, to his credit, pitch out of many jams. But it stayed 4-2 because the Angels offense went inept again, as it usually does. So then you got into Kirk grounding into shortstop with all runners everywhere to get a run back to make it 4-3. So there you go. It was 4-3, Angels at that point. And again, offense not doing nothing. And then the floodgates happened. They opened up, and it could have been a lot worse. But between Johnson and Burke, they didn't have it. The strike zone, as I would think the entire game, where, when we were talking about, I was watching with Steve Elise and and my dad, Papa Fox, and he wasn't too happy because he's like, oh, that's a strike. I heard him say that like 7 or 8 times because those pitches were on the corner, whether low or high, and they weren't calling them. And then sometimes when you're thinking, okay, he's not going to give them that call, he did. And so the umpire was very all over the place in this game, and that hurt both staffs. So it wasn't just the Angels because they froze a couple Blue Jays there too. But definitely in that 6th inning, you had all kinds of problems because the final line for Soriano isn't too bad other than glaring issue 4 walks. 6 strikeouts are nice. 52 out of his 90 pitches were for strikes, but 5 innings pitched, 3 runs, 8 innings, or 3 runs, 8 hits. Not bad. But, and that's what I would like if you're pitching 5 or 6 innings and you give me only 3 runs allowed. That should be enough for my team to be ahead, which they were, but they stopped adding on runs. And then you look at the fact that he had 4 walks. He was constantly hurting himself along with those 8 hits. So Soriano cheapened his start. He could have went 6 innings had he knocks off 2 of those hits or maybe 2 of those walks. And then it's 6 hits and 2 walks, and you're probably pitching maybe into the 7th, or starting the 7th at least. But Johnson came out and he busted his best Detmers not getting an out. And then Burke followed it up by getting into trouble, allowing some of those runs to score, and then allowing a run himself to score. So they had a 4-run inning, and that was your ball game. I mean, the Angels had one last chance, which was in the 7th inning when they loaded the bases with 1 out. And of course, no, actually 0 outs. But of course, up there, Taylor Ward strikes out. And then Soler is able to get a sacrifice fly to score a run. And then they had a big out sitting there at third and couldn't get him in. They really needed that 6th run right there, I felt. And then obviously, you know what happens. Baseball gods don't shine too heavily down on the Angels. Brogdon gives up a home run after they just worked so hard to get one. And that was it. It was 8-5. Fermin and Brogdon came in and cleaned up the messes, but still they threw 173 pitches, so they saw 40 more pitches than the Angels did tonight. Bassett wins again. He's 8-1 career lifetime against the Angels. 5 runs, 8 hits in 6 innings, 4 earned runs. The key, 1 walk allowed, 6 strikeouts. He did allow 2 home runs, which is unlike Bassett. But either way, that's how that went down. The Angels shined again. I mean, after yesterday, getting 4 walks or 6 walks, you're like, damn, it felt pretty good. You need to bring down the walks, or you need to get some walks in there, and they only generated 1 tonight. They struck out 13 more times. So after yesterday, they only improved 1 strikeout as they struck out 14 times in the loss tonight. Again, I was reminded yesterday that was not their season high. Their season high for strikeouts is sitting at 16, and then they issued 7 walks. So again, they struck out 11 Blue Jays tonight, but you allowed 7 walks. You're not going to win too many games like that, and especially when the Blue Jays cash in 6 out of 15 of those with runners in scoring position, and you yourself only have 7 opportunities, cashing in only 2 of those. So the law of averages weren't on the Angels' side tonight, and they lose this one, surrendering 8 runs, 14 hits. The Blue Jays had 2 errors, while the Angels had 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Did you get that vibe, though? I had that vibe tonight from the 4th inning onward. They were just swinging for the fences. Other than the 7th inning rally where they were a little bit more patient, trying to get something going, those other innings were just useless innings where there was just too many swings and misses. And again, they set themselves up for disaster. So before we get into anything else in the awards and stuff, I'm going to get into the song that best represents the Angels tonight as far as how they played as a lineup. And let me scroll down here. Let's start it out per request by Mateo. Sacramento, 2 for 5, 2 runs scored, but he struck out twice. Nolan Shanawell, 2 for 4, 1 walk. So he was on 3 times. It's not bad. Taylor Ward, though, one hit out of 5 at-bats was the home run. He also struck out once. That song went way too fast. Let's play it again. And then he had Soler right there, 1 for 4. He had Ohapi, 1 for 3, and a strikeout. Moncada, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Parrish 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Adele 1 for 4 with that home run and a strikeout. Tim Anderson 1 for 4 and 2 strikeouts. So I think the hole in the lineup, or the holes in the lineup tonight, had come from Moncada downward. Moncada, Paris, Adele, and Anderson were combined, I want to say 1 for 12. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 2 for 12. With you had 2, 3, 5, 8 strikeouts. So 8 of the 13 strikeouts came from 6 to 9 in the lineup, and you went 2 for 12. So that definitely burned the Angels right there, as they could not get nothing going at certain points in this time. And you look at this lineup, you got Zach Neto, who improved his average to 300. You got Shonowell's average going up to 256. But you got Taylor on useless Ward. Even though he hit a home run tonight, he's still useless, batting 181 in your third spot. That is not smart. Soler batting 231. He goes up and down. Ohapi's 284. You can respect that. And here's where you check it. 219 for Moncada, 219 for Paris, 184 for Adele, 203 for Anderson. Ew, stinky. That is terrible, man. That is really bad. Not good at the bottom of that lineup. Really. Now, the pitching stats again. Oriano, 3 runs, 8 hits allowed in 5 innings. You got Johnson, not an out, did a Detmers. He gave him 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk. Only 11 pitches, too. God damn it. Burt, an innings pitched, 1 run on 2 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout on 19 pitches. Fermin lowers his ERA to 9 with a perfect inning and 2 strikeouts. Brogdon, in his major league debut or second game, set 2 innings, 2 hits allowed, 1 run, which was a home run, 2 strikeouts. Yep. So a rough night. You feel good that they got the 2 out of 3. That's all we want. We always talk about, let's get 1-0 today. Let's win. Let's be 1-0 and then move forward. And so you kind of hope that happens on a daily basis. But damn it, dude, when you take a loss like this, that could have been a win. It sucks. It really sucks, because then you look back at games like this and you're like, man, the season could be way different if the Angels would have won some of these games instead of letting them get away.
One more loss, which could have been a win.
Yep.
You call yourselves professionals. I have never, ever seen a worse group of 25 players. You don't think as a team. You don't.
It's so sad, because we played that soundbite the last, 2 seasons, and including this one, and I'm tired of these ones, man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
I wish that we could play happier, because I do have some happy ones on here. Like if we were winning.
Wow, winning.
I got some really good ones, but mostly, yeah, it's just not fun, dude. I like to do, hear winning sound bites, but we're not even honking our honks. It feels kind of dirty tonight, as we won the series, but the way we played tonight, not so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were officially Buttercupped. Enjoy.
Why do you build me up, Buttercup, baby, just to let me down, mess me around, and then worst of all, you never call, baby, when you say you will. But I love you still, I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, Buttercup, don't break my heart.
So, yes, Buttercup tonight. We lose the game tonight, but we didn't lose the fight. At least we won 2 out of 3. But we got to clean some stuff up. The bullpen really sucks right now. I think, it's trying to match the hitting futility right now. So let's get into the awards tonight, shall we? And we're going to talk about, first off, who got the Golden Stamos, which is the most prestige award out there, given to you by Heedy, meaning the best player on the field. Let's see who gets it. The John Stamos Golden Stamos goes to, we're going to give it to Varshell. Varshell went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs for the Blue Jays tonight. Big time game for him. He only struck out once. He scored a run, and he had some honorable mentions. You had Vlad Guerrero Jr. going 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. And you also had that douchebag Springer go 0 for 2, or actually, 0 for 2, but he had 3 runs scored because he walked 3 times. And he could have almost walked 5 times, but he was rung up twice on strikeouts, on close pitches, by the way. But, he had quite the game, and he was a pest on the bases and this entire series. Now, who gets Nacho Night Award?
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award goes to, and honorable mention because I got tired of seeing Moncada's at bats, whether he fouled one off or looked one right down the middle. It's like you knew it was coming, which was a slider, and it was an easy strikeout. I saw that on Kyron Paris. I saw that on Moncada. It was just annoying there at bats. And the same thing, you could read a strikeout coming from Taylor Ward. So these guys are super predictable. Same thing with Tim Anderson, too. He had some bad at bats, slider off the plate. I mean, you could tell what their weaknesses are, and you could tell these pitchers know what to do to get them out, and they did. But I'm not going to give it to Moncada. Anytime you could bust a Reed Detmers and not get an out, I'm going to give it to you. And I know the kid has, Ryan Johnson. He's going to get a pass from me all day, every day, because, again, this guy saw no minor leagues. He does have electrifying stuff. He does have it together at times, but he's not finishing batters, and that's what's going to kill him if he continues to go this route. He might be sent down at some point if we get some veteran help or somebody surging in the minors. They might just send him down because, again, this is a dude that can provide some help, and he does have swing and miss kind of stuff, but there's certain times where he just can't put a guy away, and he's done that on some 3-and-ball 2-strike counts, and he's also done that in some critical situations. So you might not want to use him in the most sensitive spots, but then who replaces him, right? So that's, again, where you need some veteran help. That's, again, where you need some experience, and that's something where the Angels are really deficient in right now is experience in that bullpen. They kind of suck right now as a team. One of the worst bullpen ERAs to go right now. And, again, for a team struggling to score runs, you need the pitching to be firing on all cylinders right now, and unfortunately it's not. It's lost more games than the hitting has recently. So Buttercupped again. There you go. That's the Nacho Night Award. That's that award. Just for the hell of it, just because I want to, and just because I love hearing it, Marsha's going to chime in with her award.
I need your seed.
Who's got the biggest biceps? Marsha. Who's got shoulders like a man? Marsha. Who's got a ring that's lit? Marsha. Who's got a thing for young surfers? Marsha. Who put the tree off the grill? Marsha. Who could slam a shack? Marsha.
Congratulations, pal.
That is a voice of an angel right there, Marsha. Boy, she has no Adam's apple, that's for sure. Chris Bassett, just because he owns us, dude. I mean, he literally should just get a free brick and place it anywhere he wants to under those big hats or helmets underneath the, in front of the Anaheim Stadium, because Chris Bassett owns this, dude. Think about it. He's 8-1 against this career lifetime. Never really has a problem against us, and this is the most we've hit him. So this is the best we could do, and we still lost. So let that sink in. Angels lose, and let's get into some comments, shall we? As we got a lot to read, and before we do, Boo Boo Bear's mommy with a super sticker right there. He still deserves the debt of gratitude. Keep up the good work, and I appreciate that. And then once again, I'll remind everybody that has contributed at one form or another, one time or another, you too can get a free shirt and possibly some more swag at the end of the month. Once we're done here with these shirts that we're printing out, you guys are going to get them for free, the ones that have contributed with the super stickers, and then also we'll have those on sale for everybody else at a fair price. Now, real quick before we get going in the comments, I know I teased it right there for a second, but one more tease, and that is this guy will be performing, I should say he will be at Rock and Brews in, I keep forgetting, Buena Park. So Rock and Brews in Buena Park, a walk from Knott's Berry Farm, right across the street from Portals in medieval times. This guy will be blessing his presence with us. I will be there from 10 o'clock to 11:30 with Zach Neto. So we might sneak in an interview, and then he's going to be doing autograph signings and picture taking, all the good stuff at Rock and Brews on this Saturday morning. I suggest you get there around 9:30 so you get a good place in line. There's going to be a lot of people there.
For me, and I'm feeling good.
So Zach Neto will be live and in person, so you'll be able to get chummy with him right there. So that being said, now we'll jump into the comments, and let's see. First up is Rally Chris, and he's like, you know what? I don't care if the Angels win or lose, baby. Artie's the man, apparently to him. But nah, he's really like, I need a drink. It's Spritz o'clock.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
So you got that. Spritz o'clock, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy a botanical spritz. And then also Boo Boo Bear's mommy says, oh no, we suck again.
Oh no! We suck again!
Yes, we do. We lost tonight. Demetrio says, I really wanted that sweep tonight. Spritz and sucking right there. One more loss that should have been a win. I called that one earlier. Rally, I already called Spritz o'clock in Todd's DM. So Mateo gets the credit for that one this time. Tyler says 1 walk and 13 strikeouts. Q FanDuel. Yeah, that's not a winning combination. See how that doesn't average out. Hey, did you enjoy the strikeouts? Over there on TikTok, Benji says, I say we call up Caden Dana and Clausen and send Detmers to AAA. One problem with that, you need to send up 2 for 2, number one. And number two, Detmers is out of options. That's the only problem right there. You'd have to cut him, DFA him, whatever. So there, and Travis Geiger says, sell the goddamn team. Chris says, are the ticket prices worth it or is it overpriced? Actually, the ticket prices are super cheap. If you go to 714 Tickets, who presented the OC Dugout. Well, OC Dugout presented Zach Neto this Saturday, and 714 Tickets presents the show and the awards. 714 Tickets, I mean, if you buy tickets from 714, obviously the price you see is the price you get, plus HITI in the promo code takes 10% additionally off every time. So I suggest you buy your tickets there. And right now, yes, the tickets are cheap unless the Angels play the Dodgers, Red Sox, or Yankees. Expect the prices to be up the ass. So, yeah, that's basically it right there. Moving on to Dan Rios, he says, I can't see Rally. He blocked me. Rally says, even though we lost the game, at least we won the series. Mateo says, me love you long time, which is Roger's favorite thing to say.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny. And me love you long time.
Boo Boo Bear's mommy says, let me guess, was it the blow pen again? It sure was. EQ says, oh, wow, not gonna. I crashed out when we had people on base multiple times that can't score. And Johnny Washington was like, I work my ass off. Yeah, right. Mike Trout says, Buttercupped. David Roskis says Angels should have swept against the Blue Jays. Damn right. Tyler says even Wayne is throwing shade on the Halos hitting approach. Exactly, Tyler, because it's terrible. Mateo says tough night. The Warriors took the L and the Angels did as well. Also, Angels got to be ready and will be tomorrow night against the Orioles. I actually like them in that series. We'll see. Shop Girl says back to pathetic Angels again. Damn, we should have won this game. Yeah, a little bit of small ball, and the Angels might have done it tonight. JM says this is Perry's bullpen, and oh man, it's complete dog ass. Wow, it is. Again, some of these pitchers should be up here 2 years from now. Or a year from now. Why are they up here right now? I have no idea.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Exactly. And yeah, I think when we play the Cash for Gold when circus music when they announce the lineup or when I do the lineups, but I think when a pitcher comes out, it should be, when it's not Kelly Jansen. Maybe that's the sound we make. We'll see. I'll run that by the Angels and see if they go for it. Kylo says you're ruining it. Where did that one go? Yeah, that's one of the new ones. So I have to find that one.
My lips, you're ruining it. Ruining.
Jay Talk says our bullpen sucks this year. JM says Robert Stevenson is looking really good as a Halo. Yeah, he's earning that contract, isn't he? J Dog also says if we won all the games we should have won, we might actually be good. Think about this though. I think if anything, the Angels would be exact opposite of the record right now. Had they won the games they should have won, they'd be 21-15. That's just my opinion. Aiden says we've been hitting better in theory, but still not getting it done. I'd like to see more hits than freaking solo shot. At Trash Halos, oh no, we suck again. Q Pancho Villa. Yes, let's get back to him because he's got a lot to say about it, right? Well, him and Lombardi.
Oh no! We suck again!
Grillmaster says we almost won. At least we got 2 out of 3. Now we got to get 2 out of 3 against Baltimore. Angels, please take 2 out of 3 against the Baltimore. Rally Chris says to make a 5-5 homestand. I'll take that after losing 3 out of 4 to the Tigers. Yeah, that would be nice. Mateo says, hey, Todd, I know you're not a basketball fan, but do you agree that since I'm a Warriors fan and if we lose a series, should I be happy that we made the playoffs? Not really, because you got a lot of players to go with the players you do have, and you replaced Jimmy Butler, or you replaced Jimmy Butler. You didn't replace Jimmy Butler. Who's the guy you replaced? The guy who went to Dallas, you replaced him with Jimmy Butler. You have some talent on that team, a lot of young guys, but Curry's getting old. It is what it is, man. You guys had a really nice run. I think it's over, though. Aiden says, when is Trout coming back? No idea. He's supposed to get reevaluated when he starts to run, and I haven't heard anything about him running. J-Dog says, Buttercupped again, Angels baseball at its finest. Umpire tonight was hand-in-hand, number 69, nice. He could have done better. He was pretty bad. Also, let's see, balls in my mouth. Grillmaster also, hand-in-hand is a minor league umpire, so they got that right there. Grillmaster also calling for one of the cringiest sayings of all time.
Let me tell you something about my guy, John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old
Balls and running up my butt right now?
You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos
Choked on me.
He was so great.
That's disgusting. By the way, Mateo says, how about a yummy tasting nut?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
No, it's not. I don't know how many times I tell him no, and he still comes back with that line. James Malou says, balls, and blow pen, baby. You know, that would be a great bubble gum if we can just slap a wrapper on a generic bubble gum package that says blow pen bubble gum. I think that would work.
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and
John Stamos.
Blow pen. Yes, VT, we are on TikTok. There you go. Just barely got on. Useless Trucker says the Angels losing is like Godzilla getting lost in Tokyo. Lots of noise, destruction, but ultimately just a big, clumsy mess. That's a good analogy. Tyler says if the ball isn't a rocket right at Newell Ward, it's an automatic hit. Grillmaster says broadcast actually said Bassett is 7-3 lifetime. Make it 8-3. No, He's 8-1, dude. They're wrong. Silent E says you can never ever tell when this reliever has his stuff working or not. Everyone knows how volatile they wish things didn't end this way, but Johnson and Burke just didn't have it when they usually do. That is true. But again, they're so young. Ricky says, thanks for the tickets, Todd. I checked the Halo when walking out, and apparently we won. It was lit. Fuck Artie. I can't stand that, Ricky, and you're very welcome. You and the kids, I'm glad you had a good time. I was glad to give tickets to everybody. I was just hoping that we would pull out a victory for you guys. But I thank you for the kudos right back. Tony C said, and I hate that whole, keeping the Halo lit. That is so dumb. It kills any tradition that we used to have. Our bullpen needs to be cleaned up. Johnson, it's time to think about sending him down. Brock Burke is not that pitcher he was last year. They will probably give Burke a couple more changes before the DFA. True. Grillmaster checks in also with emotional damage because he was wanting to honk his honk, but he didn't get a chance to.
Emotional damage.
Yep. Silent also says, I feel like Soriano was pitching. He could have gone another inning. The way he was pitching the whole third time around the lineup is an analytic thing that is getting old. Travis says, let's set up a sell the team protest. We need more. We need more people to say it. If you can get the word out, we can get a kind of group going. I'm down. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We need bigger people, more people, actually, I should say, to participate. And some, and because we've had the help of other podcasts, and there's only a few that said they would help out. One of them is Angels Central, but we've, my boy VT over there. But if you haven't checked them out, and right there, he's right on cue. He says, VT over there on TikTok, can I say something? Hashtag sell the team. Chant night at Angel Stadium. Chant night is not a bad idea. Because you're not going in there with shirts. You're just going in there with your voice, and they can't tell you to shut the hell up. Now, if you're cussing, you're saying something racist, stuff like that, you're being personal, absolutely. You can't do those three things. But sell the team, you can chant that all you want. And the way the stadium is filled up with 25,000, 11,000, you can make your voice heard. Also, Ward sucks. He should be DFA'd. Ricky says, I got to believe our record when Tim Anderson starts is awful. That guy sucks. I want to see J Ram knock his ass out again. That's pretty bad when you're rooting for an opponent to beat up your guy. Also, balls, and can't record an out. That was Johnson tonight. There was just no help for Johnson.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want
balls and John Stamos.
Can't record him now. Down goes Anderson right there. Courtney says, well, that was fun while it lasted. 2 wins in a row. Mateo says, hey, Todd, do you like the move that Bo Porter moving from third base for EY Senior moving to first base? No, I think that's something they said that's coming down to his actual running from first base to the dugout. It's more, he's having a hard time doing that. So I have no thoughts on that one because I would be more impressed if they got rid of Johnny Washington. Tyler says the Halos are swing, watch third strike down the middle. What the fuck? Grillmaster says Arizona used the Snakes and slapped the Dodgers as they won. Sny Guy says Bachman needs to be back soon, which is probably not too bad. He's actually making some progress. Dino says our bullpen is straight trash. Grillmaster also says, yeah, Mo, that team sure did suck last night. Angel Suck says on Twitter, says our boy scored 5 or more games, 3 games in or 5 or more, 3 games in a row. We can sweep the Orioles. Q, it can happen. Thanks for the tickets. I'm glad you had fun right there too. Sega Boy says blow pen. Also, we can't win more than 3 games in a row. DFA Detmers bring him up. I think Detmers bring up Enright or hire Weaver and get rid of Enright right there. Tyler says, what's their 6th and 7th inning bullpen ERA? Sheesh. Right now, it's got to be like 105. Let's see. I have an Angels account. Let's collab and get the word out and sell the team chant protest. Well, Travis Geiger, why don't you hit me up in the messages and we will definitely do that. I have no problem with that. Any way we can get the word out there. I know Angels Central will do the same thing. They're really cool as hell there too. Also Tim over there with his private page as well. Tony C says, Todd, what do you think about first and third base coaches switch? Oh, I already did that right there. And how do we fix the bullpen right now? Well, message me over on, message me on TikTok here. I'll get it. The thing is, if you're going to fix the bullpen and you want instant results, you got to go out there and get a Robertson. You got to make a trade for another guy. You need some veteran stability right there. You got Hunter Strickland in. I'm sure when he comes up, he's going to help things out. But you need some guys to help out the Fermins of the world, the Johnsons. You got too many young kids on this squad, dude. You're not going to do good with this squad right now. So they really, really need to fix this fast because, I mean, they're going to get pounded right now, if not more. Sny Guy says we need to trade Ward. His value's gone way down, even though some people might still take him, Pittsburgh, but we'll see. Tamir 20 says, what is wrong with Soriano pitching at Angel Stadium? He's a solid on the road, but at Angel Stadium, he self-destructs. That is true. I don't know, man. Some guys just have terrible splits, and maybe he's one of them right now. It's still early, but we'll see. Also, if anyone's going to the Angel game on Monday, let me know. Big game James is going. I was going to go Wednesday. I switched it up. I'm going Monday. So I'll be in San Diego for that game. So if you guys get it and want to come and say hi, we'll set something up. I know Tamir 20 was talking about it the other day, and we'll meet up and have a drink or something down there at the Padres Stadium. Hopefully cheer on the Angels to a victory. We'll see. Also, he says, and our bullpen was ass also. It's been ass right now. Also, there's a video on it on why certain pitchers are better and worse there. Could be the wind flow like you're talking about or like those day games. Sega Boy says, good thing we got Stevenson. Joyce Bachman coming back, fucking tired of Johnson, Burke, Detmers, and Kwanowitz. I haven't heard anything on Joyce on his progression. That's really starting to scare me. Stevenson won't be back till July, so obviously you're going to need some pitching before then. Bachman, you're going to probably say best case scenario, he's here in 2 weeks. So we'll say, we'll see. Botch says the Angels did it again, huh? They sure did. Also, Sega Boy says, why does everyone say leave it to our old good minor leaguers? In the minors, this team blows and it is so late to call up guys right now. It is, and they need some time down there. We shouldn't be calling all these dudes up now. They actually need to marinate down there. The players that all the young talent in the minors rot. Yeah, it's true. Also, we are we are good at letting all our young talent rot in the minors. Also, Johnson records no outs. Congratulations, pal Marsha. Mateo says Baltimore comes in tomorrow and they're 10 games under 500. What's the likelihood we get them going? Very good. It's good on both sides because right now they have a run differential that's only, I think it's second worst to only the Rockies. Rockies right now they're third worst. I'm sorry. Chicago White Sox are 89 minus run differential. 109 minus is the Colorado Rockies. And I believe the Orioles are minus 64. They're in last place. Their pitching has been god awful, whether it's the bullpen, whether it's the starting pitching. They are really bad. It would not surprise me if the Angels won 2 out of 3. It would not surprise me if they lost 2 out of 3. Baltimore can still mash. So it's going to be very, 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 very interesting. And there could be a lot of runs scored and there could not be. I don't know. It's going to be weird. Herman over there on TikTok says, will the Angels make the playoffs in the next 5 years? I don't see it happening. I just see regression. They can't regress every year, can they? But, you know, it's hard to say because I really thought this year would be a stepping stone and next year would be the playoff year. This year it doesn't look like that's going to come to fruition. And if it doesn't come to fruition with them taking a stepping stone, like move towards, you know, winning baseball, it's not going to happen next year unless everything went right. Sega Boy says, I bet Tri-Cities would beat this MLB roster if they played in a series. Jesus says Angels won the series, but Buttercupped today. Hopefully they step up tomorrow. Luke Johnson says, Todd, let's get to sell the shirts mass produced. Well, I mean, if you guys want to help out, because we're barely getting on those other 2 designs. To sell the team shirts, I was saving for August and September. But, man, people want to shout that already, and so who knows? We'll try to get that going faster. Also, Luke says Fire Perry. Sega Boy loves that song. Let's see. Also, remember to try the Chipotle aioli buffalo wing rockin' sauce. Okay. Big 21 from Marsha. Saucy says the Temu bullpen is straight from the dollar store and Family Dollar, by the way. Hey, look at that exit velocity. Hey. Yeah, that's all they were tonight with those 2 home runs. Gotta love me some FanDuel. Let's see. Also, you got Johnson right here. Saucy says is a good dude with a good future, but they're nothing with a guy starting in the minors. Just saying. Rally Chris also says I went to the dentist appointment today in Anaheim. I passed by Angel Stadium on the 57 freeway. Then when we passed it, I screamed, "Sell the team, you suck, Artie." Tyler says I feel like sell the team movement is growing on social media. It sure is. But we got to bring that to the stadium. Also, Travis says this is so much better than Trent Rush. Well, I appreciate that. But in my opinion, Mr. Geiger, that is such a low, what is it called? Low bar for me to get ahead of, because I've always thought he sucks, man. He's so contrived and he's so like, he's got to back that movement, the propaganda. I mean, the only person worse than Trent is obviously Roger, but Trent's up there, man. He's like, I tell you what, this team looks really good. This red carpet. He literally said that on the red carpet. I mean, he was on the mic and he was like, I'm DJ here for today, and I'm going to be hosting this festivities with all these Angel fans. There's got to be, how many fans are here, Roger? There's so many. I can't see the parking lot. There's so many. And Roger's like, there's obviously 10,000 fans here, Trent. And I'm like, bro, there's maybe 1,000 here, but good try. And yes, you can very easily see the parking lot from here, but nice try. Also, Saucy says, if this team could score 5 runs, they need to find a way to win. 5 runs is rare for this team. ROS says, my copium is the one day Henry Samueli will buy this franchise from the devil himself, Artie Moreno. And if he were to, he would change this organization overnight. Dr. Pepper over there on TikTok says, I was at the Angels game today. You had to suffer through that one. Grillmaster says, Gavin wants these nuts. He loves pistachios.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Thank you, Mateo, as well, for chipping in a super sticker. Also, thank you again for Boo Boo Bear's mommy. That is awesome. We appreciate you guys and gals so much. Also, Depressed Angels fan says, we went from so back to wash after crack. We're so back. Also, Mateo says, yeah, Todd, I agree with what you said about Golden State. I do think they're at the end. As much as I want my boy Curry to win his 5th ring, I don't think it'll happen. Yeah, the West is too hard, man. The Angels are planning how to hit comparable to that meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. No idea what they're thinking about. Also, Artie and Wash need to smoke crack on bye days. That's probably what they do. Angels Suck says, who's in for a go-to in the bullpen? Or who's our go-to? Who is our best? It seems like somebody new blows it every time. There is a guy out there that is good, and that's Kelly Jansen, and even he's had a bad performance, but they can't get to him. They just can't get to him. Mateo says he's proud of his team, as you should be. Foul Territory on some other podcasts that featured Cameron Maben, former Angel, talked about how analytics is ruining the game. I sent it to some fans today. I don't know if they sent it to you. Continued. Yeah, I did see that, and it is true. Artie is Satan right there. I agree. Also, Boo Bear's mommy says they keep the halo lit because it'll never be lit without the Angels win. Yep. I also can't wait to get Trout back, to Depressed Angels fan. Also, Mateo says balls, and what the hell is going on out there? Boy, that's 2 sound bites. I like when you commit to the double sound bite. That's really good.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and balls and...
The Angels Suck says there wasn't one Let's Go Angels chant all night. Very quiet, very sad. You know what it was, though? You had this, and you should have led the chant Angels Suck with this. They love playing them some Deo. Black Noir says we almost got out of it with our first sweep of the season. Light that baby up says, sure, they lost, but a positive note is they won the series. That is true. I mean, you can go with the positives, but it's hard when they lose like that, though. Also, Ryan Johnson, cue our boy that passed away, Bob Euchre. Yeah, because there was a lot of pitches that were outside.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?
Travis Geiger says they overplay the Deo so much it's in the MLB The Show now. That's crazy. They do overplay that one, and they also play the one from Queen, when he's all, I hate that one, dude. Don Hammond says, damn, I wanted to sweep so much. What the hell are they going to do with Johnson? He's becoming a liability. Also, Saucy says, big time crowd tonight. There may have been 10,000 fans there. Also, the Oilers beat the Golden Knights and take a 2-0 series lead. I think the Oilers were, or is it I think the Golden Knights won the game before. I don't know. I wanted a Shauna Will jersey for the game on the 23rd, but I don't think it would come in time. I will have to buy one at the stadium. Nick Tate says, I will be there tomorrow on Sunday. We shall see which version of the team shows up. Well, Nick, you should come by and say hi. I will be there tomorrow as well. Pirates relieved Derek Shelton of his duties. Yeah, he was fired today. Ricky also chimes in with Johnson being on the roster is an absolute joke. It's honestly not fair to anyone, especially Johnson. Tell me about it. Mateo says, Todd, are you going to add the San Diego sound bites? No, I gave up on those because San Diego fans are just too nice. Also, Baltimore series should definitely be a sweep or series win also. I agree, but again, our pitching is scaring me, especially the bullpen, especially with an offense that likes to disappear for 4 to 6 innings at a time. That's not a good combination. Don Hammond says, I'm not confident against the Orioles. We never do anything against teams that are not playing well. They're 13-23, but we'll make them look incredible. LV checks in with, fuck, man. The season starts tonight, baby. I don't care what you say.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
BT checks in with, as long as Grill Master doesn't tell me to unalive myself, we good, fam. I forgot he did that. That's not cool. Andrew Freak says, good thing I'm going to the game tomorrow so I don't have to listen to Patio. Yes, Andrew. Again, come by and say hi. Everyone that's going to the game tomorrow, come by and say hi. I'll be in 260. You can't miss me. I'm sitting next to one of the tallest sheriffs that's retired with a big cowboy hat. And by the way, again, Zach Neto will be there on Saturday for the signing at OC Dugout, which is going to be over at Rockin' Brews off Buena Park, presented by OC Dugout. And then you can come to our tailgate on Saturday too. The White Sox only minus 39 with better than us at 61 and 69. Mateo says, I have a weird feeling that we will make Baltimore pitchers look like Cy Youngs. Hayes right there. And Hayes didn't hit me up in the email again. I gave away that ticket late. I was holding on to it almost until game time, bro. You got to learn how to email, my man. Todd, are you going to the next series of games? Yes, I'm going to go Friday, Saturday, and possibly Sunday. So I will be there for the at least Friday and Saturday for sure. Any chance that we can get Papa Fox in the post-game show? How's the train set? Boy, you know what, Mateo, thanks for asking. I will get that video up of the train set to show you. It's completely done. It's got snow. It's got everything. He's got new trains, so he's a happy camper. He loves to play with his trains over here outside of the studio. And then, I should get my dad on. He'll tell some stories about Wrigley Field and old Anaheim Stadium and how much he's disappointed with, with how the Angels are this year. So, yeah, I will definitely get him on soon. Baltimore probably going to out-hit the Angels, JL says. Also, Tyler says your Trent Rush impersonation is spot on. I appreciate it. Saucy says, oh, no, we suck again, which is very, very much the slogan tonight.
Oh, no, we suck again.
Yes. Also, the Ducks hired Joel Quenneville today, playoff bound. He is pretty good. He's a good coach right there. Let's see. I was so ready to honk my honk, and I think it would have been a non-honkable offense. So you would have been legally able to honk your honk with a sweep, LV. Yep, it would have happened. Courtney says, I seriously don't understand how this team continues to let me down in new ways every year. Boy, join the club, girl. I mean, it happens so many times. Speaking of the Ducks, what about our new manager? Oh, yeah, I think he's pretty good. What was the Deo count tonight? I don't know, but I did hear a lot of them. I was in and out making dinner and other stuff, so wasn't at the game, so I can't give you an accurate. So I'll just guess it was 10, unless someone was there tonight and can give me the lowdown on the on the Deos. LV says Angels going to win the series against the O's. In his Ron Washington voice, he says, you can take that to the bank and deposit it. Also, they deoed in my chili. Saucy says this bullpen needs to get their shit together. All of their shit, so it's together. Put it all together, shall we? In a nice little bag.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you got to take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just got to get it together. Get your shit together.
Saucy says you're going to be at the game tomorrow and Mother's Day game. I'm going to try for Mother's Day. I don't know. My girl, Steve Lease, might have something going on with her mom. So if that's the case, we're going to do the plans with her mom. But we are definitely going to Friday and Saturday. So, Saucy, I will meet up with you there at some point, whether you want to come by 260 or we could just hang out somewhere, grab a beer or something. We'll do that as well. Let's see. Also, Grillmaster says, what? When did I say that? That's more Artie Moreno. Salvador says, what's better than Buttercup? Getting Buttercup live thanks to the tickets again by Todd. I'm sorry, Salvador. I'm sorry. Also, Demetrio says that sheriff is one hell of a guy. Yeah, he is, dude. Jim is a masterclass dude. He's upstanding, really cool dude. Jesus says, I will see when I'm going to another Angels game. Yeah, I'll hook it up, Jesus, next time you go, man. I know it's hard for you to get out to the stadium, but when you get a chance to go, let me know. I'll send you some tickets as well. Grillmaster says, show me your honk. Also, Demetrio's excited about the Ducks right there. VT says, I got to crash the post-game show only if Todd allows it. We got to come in one of these times, dude. I know he was busy today. They were going to record an episode for their podcast. But yeah, VT, man, I'd more than like to have you on, dude, because me and him rap pretty good together, too, when we do shows. I popped in on their podcast a few times, only once so far this year, but yeah. Angel Sucks says, shout out to Big Sheriff Jim. Enjoyed him at the game with Logan. Deo count was 9. Okay, so that's right. You sat next to Jim tonight, bro. I hope you enjoyed those seats. The Deo count was 9. So see, there we go. We got boots on the ground right there. For the Angels Orioles series, Grillmaster says, I believe that the team whose name ends with I'm not going to go there. LV says Ron Washington is out of here. Also, let's say that's more hockey. Vegas Golden Knights faking. Yeah, they're the fakest fans right there. Mateo says, I'm convinced shirtless Todd cursed the Angels. Oh, come on now. Come on. Taking calls in. Adele sucks. Hashtag Steve Lease. Also, Saucy says, was Renifo benched because of that offense, that awesome defense last night? Yes, he was, for not knowing that there was 2 outs. So he was benched tonight. And it didn't go too good for us. Not at all.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It didn't go good. That's what I'm talking about, Westbrook. But, I think he's put on a little bit of weight. And I like Renifo a lot, but he's just a little fat.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out.
Just calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
Yes. There you go. Also, James, what is Roger saying tonight? Roger is being incredibly positive because he's going to be like, don't worry about the loss last night. It is the Roger Lodge Sports Lodge, and we're going to be super positive because Revive in 25 is the motto that I personally came up with my fake hair and my toupee. And my blind date, you can literally go on to Cameo and order one of my cameos, but I can't tell you anything about your birthday and relate it to the Angels, or your wedding anniversary and relate it to the Angels, because I'm contract to only to blind date references. So on Cameo, you can pay $50 to listen to me waste your time more than I do on the radio. That's what Roger Lodge would say. I swear to God, he's the worst. He's Roger, a.k.a. Filler Lodge. That guy, I wish I could be as fake as him in my own voice, like legitimately, like try to be my best, fakest Roger for like just one show and just show you how terrible he is. I mean, because if you don't look for it or notice it, you're just saying, oh, that's Roger Lodge. That's how he runs his radio show. Nah, he's god awful, dude. That guy, he's one of a kind, man. I mean, they don't make him like that anymore, dude. Like thank God. You know, there's more social influencers. Radio's not a thing like it used to be. Man, he's terrible. Yeah, I can't imagine him in the broadcast booth. I had to listen to Trent Rush call a game the other day on the radio because I guess Terry was sick, and I'm like, damn, bro. Spencer says on TikTok, do you think Ron Washington is the answer? No, not at all. I think the Angels aren't listening to him. I mean, if he had to take away the cell phones, that just reminds me of this. When I'm telling my son, hey, it's time to get off your cell phone, he's like, yeah. Or I tell him, hey, are you watching the movie? Yeah. That guy fell. I mean, that's probably Joe Adell, Zach Neto, Shonowell. It's obviously Taylor Ward while his ears are flapping. So it's yeah, dude. Taking his cell phones away means his meetings that he was having are literally falling on deaf ears. And I think he's already lost the team. Combined with the analytics, the coaching. Think about this. You're supposed to be the manager of the club. People are supposed to listen to you. Now, let's look at the Dodgers for a second. They have the best analytics in all of baseball, probably the best scouts, best everything, right? Dave Roberts can't make 100% changes to the lineup or 100% moves during a game without having to ask his people. I mean, what manager from back in the day would be okay with that? I mean, I don't know of many that are. That's the real reason why Mike Scioscia will never, ever, ever manage a big league team, because look at how many times the manager for God, what's his name from the Red Sox, and he won a World Series, and he's been passed around like a cheap gigolo. He got a job in Cincinnati right away after having, being in Ohio for a while, and they get not Alex Cora. It's the manager now. He's with the Reds. Tito, what's his real name? Damn, someone's gonna get it in the comments. Either way, all I'm saying is managers like that. There you go. Thank you, Mius. It is Terry Francona. Thank you, Jaime. Francona is a great manager, right? Does he have the resume that Scioscia did as far as wins? I'm not sure. He's pretty damn close. I know he's got a title under his belt, maybe 2, I think. But the point of the story is he continues to get jobs because he adapted. Same thing with, certain other old school managers, but you have to let some of that analytics come in. And Ron Washington is not able to call his own shots. I think he'd be a better manager. I think this team would be a lot better had he been, because listen, the players aren't going to listen to you if there's like 30 other voices telling them different things as well. Because you really think Ron Washington prefers Trout to have his own batting instructor, prefers a young kid like Kyron Paris to have his own batting instructor? I mean, that's just not what these old school guys are used to. Mike Scioscia would have never let that happen. And the real reason why Mike Scioscia is not a manager is because he won't let that stuff happen. So he's sticking to his guns, and good for him, but you'll never see him manage a major league game ever, unless analytics tomorrow for some reason fell off the baseball agenda for all these teams. It's sad, but and I think that's why I think Ron Washington's over his head. He's in over his head. Bad owner, bad front office, and given so much talent that's not equating to what he thought he was going to get when he first came here. And it's just continued. Spencer says, sell the team. Michael Hunley says Angels versus Orioles this weekend. Bet the over on every game. Yeah, bad pitching for sure. Let's see. We literally need Angels in the outfield. We do. Matthew McConaughey needs help out there. Mateo says, see, I wouldn't have a problem with the Angels being on their phones if they used it to study with video and scouting reports. Amen to that. Amen to that. Oh my gosh, that is a good point right there. So with that being said, let's see. I got a few other things. Let's give a quick other update and review on the game. Let's see on the game tonight. Again, finals for all those checking in late. There's a lot of latecomers. Toronto won 8-5 on 14 hits, 8 runs, and then Angels had 5 runs, 9 hits. They again left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames open, and including a very disappointing bases loaded jam they got the Blue Jays into, and we're only able to get 1 run. That's very disappointing. Thanks to our boy Taylor Ward wasting an out. So we really had 2 outs in that inning. And then we got the sacrifice, but and then the pitching was a problem again. Johnson and Burke couldn't get anybody out, and you turned a 1-run lead into a 3-run deficit just like that. So very, very sad night. But again, you got to look at the positives. You got to revive in 25. And what do you think about that, Trent?
Well, I think they got 2 out of 3 tonight. And they have that zip pullover going on Friday. Don't forget, it's the first 25,000. We had 70,000 here tonight. 70,000. Can you believe that, Roger?
Well, for a stadium that only holds 45,000, that's pretty good, Trent. But I didn't see – there was a lot of green seats, so I don't think 70,000 was the right number. I'm thinking more along the lines of 41,000. There was 41,000 in attendance tonight that just saw a close loss tonight. Angels should have won, but I'll chalk it up for a win for us, right, Trent?
Oh, that's right, man. There was over 45,000 there. Yeah, pull over fleece tomorrow, and then Mother's Day brunch. If you want to see your mother eat a hot dog, we have plenty of hot dogs for the mothers out there. I'll present my hot dog. Those will be honking all over the Sunday brunch.
That's what it is. That is AM 830 in a nutshell, in a yummy tasting nutshell, to be exact. If you like yummy tasting nuts, those nuts, Gavin loves.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
I never knew he was a former credentialed guy. I mean, it's not like he says it every show multiple times. Alex says, I miss Howie Kendrick and Eric Ibar era. Let me tell you something, Alex. Let me tell you something. I miss that era too. I miss Kendrick with his going the other way all the time. He always would hit the right field. I loved his hustle. I loved the fact that he valued doubles over home runs. I loved his demeanor, his personality. I met him before. Very, very nice guy. I loved Eric Ibar. I loved how he would calm down a pitcher who was struggling. The catcher wasn't even out there. Or the catcher would come out, and as the catcher was going back to home plate, he's still patting him on the butt, and he was making the pitcher laugh. You can't replace stuff like that, right? But let me tell you, Alex, when Christian Moore comes up, I'm betting heavy on this guy. When he was drafted, to see some of the interviews, because I want to get him on the show, Christian is the real deal. If you thought the swagger, the intensity, the gamesmanship, the gamer attitude that Zach Neto, if you like that, Christian Moore is the same way. That right there, if he hits like I think he's going to hit, if he plays like I think he's going to play, you're going to be like, Renifo who? It's going to be Kendrick, Ibar 2.0, but you're going to have 2 guys who can take you deep at any time, 2 guys who can hit the game-winning double, who can draw the extra walk or take the extra base, and 2 guys are going to be flipping double plays to each other for years to come. I really think up the middle for the Angels, greatness is going to return. I really do. And I can't wait for him to fine-tool the skills he needs to come up here, because I think Moore is going to be something special. And I think that infield, depending on what Shonowell does, is going to be fairly good. I think you're going to have a pretty good infield for some time. And then the hole will open up at third base, because unless Renifo finishes this season with like maybe 250, 270 average, like I was hoping he would get to, 7 home runs and about 50 RBIs, which I don't think he's going to reach. I really want to see him be good because I like his defense, but he can never stay healthy. Likely we're going to need a new third baseman. And knowing the Angels, they are not happy with Shonawell because he doesn't hit for power. And Shonawell can't play the outfield. So I would think in the offseason, this is just a wild guess for me, but another prediction is I believe they're going to trade Shonawell in the offseason. I really do. And then use those trade pieces to bolster the minors and then attract a free agent first baseman. That's just my guess because you can't move him to the outfield. You're stuck with him. You're not going to DH him. Likely they'll bring Trout back on a DH next year. So I would have to say Shonawell would go. Stezio brings up a good that's why I'm trying to say Stezio, like I like Moore's upside. I really do. He brings up a good point though, 30% strikeout rate. And he needs to bat better with, men on base. But I think that's why he's in the minors. It's good that he's in the minors. He needs to fine tool his craft before he gets up here. I'm just saying when he does come up here, I think he's going to ball out. I really do. I really have faith in Moore. I don't think he's going to be another Joe Adell. Let's see. Also, what's the Angels are like? What's a scouting report? Grillmaster says Angels with runners in scoring position. Price is Right fell, and Q Pac-Man dying. That is true, man. They tend to screw things up a lot. But one thing I'd like to hear them say to the front office and Johnny Washington and a few other managers, except maybe Barry and Wright.
You're fired. What?
Yep. What exactly? Tyler says, let's pray that number 6 stays the F away from Moore. Yeah, I don't think he'll be around at all. I think they finally cut ties with him too. Also, you have Stezio saying, how much better do you think Neto and Shonawell would have been with more minor league at bats? That's a good point. I mean, think about this. Real quick, I'm going to go on a tangent real quick. But you think about what the Angels could have had. Back in the day, I think the early 2000s, you had Brandon Wood, Dallas McPherson, Irvin Santana, and Jeff Mathis, and they were allowed to cook down there in the minors for some time. With that being said, at the time, the Marlins were fresh off a World Series, so I want to say it was 2005, and the Marlins wanted to make a trade. The Angels at that time had a minor league system that was ranked top 5, I believe, in baseball. Might have even been number 1. And remember, you got guys like Trumbull that were coming through in later years and stuff like that. Mike Napoli, all those guys were hitting, right? Literally hitting as soon as they came up. So those were the next big 4 that were going to make the major league roster. Now, I don't know if one of them had already came on. It might have been Brandon Wood. So it was when the Marlins were trying to tear down in 04-05. And remember, the Angels were aggressive in free agency. They had just gotten Vladimir Guerrero. They had gotten, I believe, Orlando Cabrera, Juan Rivera. It was a nice team. It was a really nice team. And I think they were working on Escobar and also getting they had Bartolo Colon. So with that being said, the Marlins offered a package for those 4 because obviously the Marlins owner was a cheapskate. He didn't want to pay for those players, and they were all upcoming, contracts about a year or 2 away. And the Marlins couldn't draw flies outside the playoffs. So long story short, the Marlins offered this trade package. And I remember it. It was to Bill Stoneman, and I want the other because Stoneman was on his way out, and it was the other GM that wound up saying no, Tony Regans. So what happened was the Marlins had offered A.J. Burnett, who was still in his prime. Remember, he went to the Pittsburgh Pirates a few years later and was dominant in the postseason for them. They offered Dontrelle Willis, D-Train, who still had some oomph, and they offered Miguel Cabrera. They wanted to cut 3 players for our 4, and the Angels said no. Now, just imagine Kelvin Escobar, if you remember how good he was like Soriano on steroids, same kind of like reckless sinker, but he was really good. Pinpoint accuracy. You would have Bartolo Colon. You would have Vladimir Guerrero, Miguel Cabrera. You would have had Jose Guillen come in there, which he was good for that 1 year. Dude, what a team. I mean, what a team. So that still pisses me off to this day. Because that should have gotten us another World Series or two. I mean, maybe, and most likely, we don't lose in 05 to the White Sox, and we sure as hell don't lose to the Stankies in 09. So what a team, dude. But that always got me right there. Joe says, I can hear you mock Trent Rush and Roger Lodge all day long. I appreciate that, Joe. Do it again. It kind of hurts my voice. Jeffrey Loria was was the owner of the Marlins. I didn't know if he was still out there now. Ricky says the most insane stat I read: the Angels bullpen is the worst in baseball, despite pitching the least amount of innings in baseball. Our starting pitching is doing its job, and our manager is fucking it up. Bullpen usage far worse than I've ever seen before. I agree that too. Angel Sucks says we would have won the 2005 World Series 100%. Absolutely. We would be talking about a two-time champion right now. And the thing that sucks for me is the fact that, you know, like when you win one title as a franchise, you're not legitimate until you win that second one. The Angels' grandma says, I do miss Sean Figgins. Yes. After that World Series year, Sean Figgins really came into form in 04. I think 03, he was starting to get that starting job. And then 04 onward, he was awesome. So you had all those good players, man. I miss all those players. We got to do a retrospective on how they were at some point because, man, I'm telling you, dude, one of my favorite underrated guys was Juan Rivera. And a lot of people didn't like him, but, dude, he could draw a walk. He could hit for power. He sucked in the outfield, which is why they put him at DH eventually, but or first base too. But man, he could hit, and he was a good player, man. I really missed that dude for sure. Should have signed Pete, but no, we kept Nolan. Pete Alonso, you mean? Stezio says how much? I already said that one. Natalie says, oh my God, hi. I don't know who Natalie is. Stezio says it does no harm to let the young guys see more at bats in the minors. That's true. And then also Stezio brings up Dana, and bringing him up and sitting him down isn't exactly working either. So that's something that they need to work on as well. I think I might know Natalie. There you go. Okay. So with that being said, I think we're getting close to the end of the show here, an hour in. I appreciate everybody still being on. And again, hopefully you guys and gals can make it out. I will be there Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and Saturday for the game. I have no more tickets to give out this weekend, but I will for the next homestand. So stay tuned for that. I know they go on the 10-game road trip after, if you want to call it a road trip, which is just to San Diego, Los Angeles, and then up to Sacramento. So they're going to stay in California, so that's a good thing. But I will have some more tickets starting when they come back home. So there you go right there. And then as far as that's concerned, we again come out this Saturday for the tailgate after you go see Zach Neto at Rockin' Brews. That should be really fun right there. And we're presented to you by 714 Tickets all day, baby. And get your tickets there. Don't go to another ticket vendor that screws you over with all those service fees. Use our promo code too. The Angel says, Angel Sucks says, damn, I missed the Angels. That team was a dynasty in the AL West. They sure were. Dan Rio says, we would have won that game. Would have beat the White Sox in 2005. Josh Paul caught the ball. Yeah, it seemed like that turned that series completely around after he dropped that ball and did not throw the first. 2 weeks, Todd. Go Angels. There you go. I will see you then too, Grill Masters. So for everybody on the Halos in the Infield Network, I appreciate each and every last one of you. That's the Angels again whiffing on a strikeout. We got to keep our composure to move forward to the series with Baltimore.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to just keep our composure.
And now you know, and knowing's half the battle.
Smart thinking.
Now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
So everybody have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Go Angels. We'll get some calls in tomorrow. It's kind of late right now, and I only got 4 hours sleep yesterday. So I'll be more energized at the game, and I will be a little late to the post game tomorrow because obviously I'll be at the game. So it takes me about like 30 minutes or so, maybe a little less to be here. So if you want to join me tomorrow around maybe around 10:30, we'll be back on here and we'll take some phone calls tomorrow. So for Todd Fox on the Halos in the Infield Post Game Network, have a good night. Going.